I've saved my changes as current and tracked border.ai found inside the O8 type folder. And notice that I've gone ahead and adjusted the kerning values a little more because I wasn't really actually happy with them. And just so that you're on the same page, I'll go ahead and click on the type tool in order to select it. And I'll click between the shell and the sun in the upper right-hand corner of the rectangle. And notice here inside the character panel that I've changed the kerning value to 370. And in fact, that very same kerning value happened to work at the other corners as well. If I click between the sun and the shell in the lower right-hand corner of the rectangle, 370 is my kerning value. If I click over here between the shell and the sun in the lower left corner, I've got 370 as a kerning value. If I click up here in the upper left-hand corner, I've got a kerning value of 0. The reason being that this is where the text begins and ends. So the shell and the sun aren't really even aware that they're physically close to each other. Just to give you a sense of what's going on. Anyway, I'm going to switch back to my black arrow tool. The entire path outline is selected along with its text. And in fact, the type has priority. When you go ahead and select both the path outline and its text, anytime you select an entire text block like this, the text has priority inside of Illustrator. And that's indicated by the word type on the far left side of the control panel. Now, I'm going to change these characters of text from black to white. And because the text has priority, all I have to do is click on this fill icon and switch from black to white like so. And that's all there is to that. The next step is to add a drop shadow behind these characters. So I'll go up to the Effect menu. I'll choose Stylize, and I'll choose Drop Shadow. If you loaded D keys and you have a keyboard shortcut of Control-Alt-E, Command-Option-E on the Mac. And then I'm going to change the values like so. A mode of multiply is just fine. I'll change the opacity value to 100%. Both X and Y offset want to be 2 points. And then the blur value, I don't want any blur. It's just going to add to the complexity of my document. It won't really produce a great effect. So I'm going to take that value down to 0 points and then turn on the preview checkbox so I can make sure that I like the final effect, which I do. This looks great. All right, now I'll click OK in order to accept that drop shadow effect. And the next thing I need to do is replicate this ornamental border onto artboards number 2 and 3. And the easiest way to replicate this border is to double-click on the black arrow tool icon at the top of the toolbox. That brings up the Move dialog box, which will contain the coordinates of your last movement inside of the document. Now, if you're lucky, it'll show you the movement of that styled rectangle from one artboard to the next. If not, you'll just have to enter these values right here. A horizontal value of 772 points, a vertical value of 0 point. That's what you want. And then go ahead and turn on the preview checkbox. Just make sure you got it right. And as you can see, back here inside of the illustration window, I've nailed it. So that's exactly the movement I want. I'll go ahead and click on the copy button in order to copy those ornaments from one page to the next. Next, we need to duplicate those very same ornaments from artboard 2 to artboard 3, so I'll press Control-D or Command-D on the Mac to repeat that duplication. And that is it, friends. We've now achieved our final document using a combination of placed and threaded text, formatting attributes, paragraph and graphic styles, ornamental glyphs, and type on a path here inside of Illustrator CS5.